gather the family around the Christmas tree, pop YouTube on, and we'll watch the Finders Flippers and spend Christmas Eve with us. So,
are you still froze?
I froze.
Yep. Look at that cat. Sorry.
Hey, we have a special guest.
Yeah. The cat's meows in the house.
This episode can officially go onto the special guest playlist. Stewart was the only one there the other day cheering for the refs.
Yeah.
I look around, he's not in the same spot. I was like, where did he go? In the upper deck, the top part of the bleacher. He's got a big old bag of popcorn, just wearing it out.
Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, because next week we're talking about possession arrows. Which way is the ball going?
This way. Welcome back, everyone, to the Finders Flippers Resell Podcast. I am with my friends here on a Christmas Eve. Gentlemen, how you doing this evening?
Doing well, guys. Merry Christmas. And Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Thank you for being here. Hope you guys are spending the holidays with your family and with us. But if you're new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button, guys. Episode 46. We're closing out our year on a high for sure.
Around the tree, fire the TV up, turn on YouTube, and spend Christmas Eve with the Finders Flippers. So,
yeah, or YouTube music, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we're going to get into that a little bit, right, sir?
You can alternate, we wish you a Merry Christmas, oh come all ye faithful, an episode of the Finders Flippers, and then, we Three Kings, and so on and so forth. So,
and find that missing package
keeps on giving.
Does that kind of ephemera sell? Yearbooks?
Yeah.
Old yearbooks?
Yeah, I've actually done pretty well with old yearbooks. Obviously, the right person has to be looking. It's usually somebody has some connection to that school. Not always, I don't guess, but
right.
A lot of times. Like I had some little small college in, I think it was Indiana listed. I don't remember the name of the college, and I had like 8 of them, and one person bought all 8 because they had gone to school there in the 2000s. I mean, these were all from, I think they were all from the 50s, maybe 50s and 60s. So yeah, they'll definitely sell. I pick them up whenever I see them. And then plus you always want to research if there's famous people. I always like Google, famous alumni of this high school or this college. And then you hope you have those years. I've got one listed that hasn't sold. It's the Don McLean of American Pie thing.
Oh, yeah.
Got one of his yearbooks. And I actually sold a Bearden High School yearbook that had the guitarist for Weezer in it. Man, that last episode turned out good. It was funny. Did you see Samantha's comment? She said it was the funniest. She said it's our funniest episode yet. So
yeah.
She couldn't make it the first 10 minutes. She was laughing so hard.
Well, it was an interesting one to edit for sure. So if you all haven't seen that episode yet, drop back one and check out episode 45. It was a fun one from start to finish.
Marla messaged me and she said, "Man, y'all really do a good job, splicing those videos up." I said, "Well, there's no y'all. That's all Wes." So
yeah.
So she liked the video. So good. I mean, it all works together. I mean, I think, Johnny being as funny as he is, and me editing, putting it all together, and Stewart, you're giving all your knowledge that you have to the whole reselling game since you've been at it a long time. This makes for a nice little trio that we got going on. Which
Stewart's our actual reseller.
He is.
We are. We're 6 away from 200.
6 more, folks, and we're going to go live at 200 on the Finders Flippers Resell Podcast.
Probably go live. Surely we'll hit 200 by the end of the year, so probably go live right after the first of the year. Maybe still celebrate the new year and do a live show.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a great way to kick off a new year.
It is.
And guys, you know what? This is episode 46, which means we're closing in on like episode 52, which even though we've like missed some weeks throughout the year, it'll be like actually like a year worth of podcasts. And that's coming up in 2025.
We had the playlist of like just the shows where we had special guests. That was kind of, I think Samantha's the one who requested we create a playlist because she wanted to be able to, while she's working, just watch them all, without having to click and go to each one. So then as I was adding the latest one to the playlist, since we had the two special guests, and Marla and Lillian, it said something about this playlist is eligible to be put on YouTube Music as a podcast. So I went ahead and all I had to do was upload a thumbnail. So now I guess when you're on YouTube Music, kind of like, if you're on Spotify and you can listen to podcasts, our shows will now show up over on YouTube Music. And so with that in mind, I also created a playlist just called All Episodes, and I added every one of our episodes to that playlist. And I assume that means, people on YouTube Music can now find us and, maybe listen over on that platform. To be honest, I've never been to YouTube Music, so I don't know much about it, but we are apparently a podcast on there now.
We are also on Spotify. I've added some of our podcasts on there. I haven't done here the recent ones, but you can find us over there as well.
Yeah, I knew you'd add. It's been a while since you've added one, though, hasn't it?
It has. I mean, just to get these up is a task right now.
Yeah.
Saw on Saturday the stuff I get into.
Yeah, how exciting! I was excited about that.
Yeah,
I always get a little FOMO.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching Wes run up and down the court, and he got booed a couple of times. Saw the people sitting next to me, what are you doing out there, ref? And
that's terrible.
Yeah,
and I didn't miss a beat. That I just kept on moving.
You just keep going.
Yep.
So yeah, I enjoy doing that. So yeah, let me know when you're going to be back over this way again. And I had a interesting day sourcing yesterday. I had run into there's a guy who's a dealer at West End, and I won't go into the whole story, but ultimately he inherited. He had worked for this guy for a long time, and when that guy died, he basically left everything to this guy, including like some property, a bunch of antiques. The guy he worked for was a huge antique guy. And there was this old farmhouse on the property, which was this storage building, and it was just full of stuff. And I'd asked him if he had like anything like postcards or other ephemera, and he said, oh, yeah. So I ended up going up there yesterday, and it was cool just walking through the farmhouse. And I ended up buying, I don't know how many thousands and thousands of postcards I bought.
Wow.
And then there was some other ephemera, but here's some of the cooler ones that I pulled out so far. I've only tipped the iceberg. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that maybe there'll be some Halloween postcards in there because that's where the big money is. But I thought this one was cool. It's Shirley Temple's house.
Oh, wow.
Shirley's Temple.
Yeah, it is Shirley's Temple. And then there were a lot of like World War I postcards, a lot of real photo postcards. Thought that was cool. The horse and buggy. I don't know if this is some celebrity from way back when. I haven't done any research.
He's got his autograph on it, so
yeah.
It must be
Frank.
So yeah, but more like
that's a
nice uplifting image to send.
Wow.
Hey, having a good time here in
France. Now, does that fall under what we were talking about the other night, postmortem?
Yeah, maybe because they're either dead or doing a really good job faking it. So
maybe
Niagara Falls ones in there.
1939, I think, maybe World's Fair, New York World's Fair. So there's a bunch of those. It's like an old airport, the Charleston Airport. I don't know. There were just a lot of really cool ones. Like here, I'm wondering if this one will have some interest. It's whaling. It's like they're sperm whaling. So I guess there's the whale they've killed. So another postmortem there. But anyway, I've got, thousands and thousands and thousands of postcards to go. And then I also got a call from some people that went to my dad's church. We actually still go to church with them. And they had sold their mother's house, the guy's mother's house. And the guy originally he had told me this and said I might have some furniture for you to come look at, but the guy who bought it ended up buying it with all the furniture and the artwork, but they still had a lot of stuff she had collected over the years. So I went over there, and man, they had so much stuff, and I mean, basically they were going to take it all to the thrift shop. So I said, hey, to save you the trouble of that, because not all of it was stuff I could sell, but I said, I'll just take it all, and then I'll go through it, and anything I don't want, I'll take to the thrift shop. And they were fine with that. And I'm like, and if you want, I'll consign it and give you half the money or whatever. And they said, no, you're doing us a huge favor just getting it out of the house. So it's just, I've talked about in the past how big relationships are in reselling, and that was a great example, because there were some really cool items in that lot of stuff. So yeah, looking forward to going through it all. I was just boxing it up so quick. I really wasn't taking the time to see what all it was, but
that's awesome.
So
yeah, Johnny, it appears you have a new little thing for your microphone there.
Oh yeah, you like this?
Let's talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about that. It's kind of snazzy now.
So, watching back, like some of our last podcasts, like I've noticed that, like if I get loud, the mic crackles a little bit. So I was doing a lot of research just on what else I can do to kind of avoid that. And this is pretty much the only thing, minus getting a higher end mic. So it's supposed to help with like the crackling.
How does this sound? Does this sound better?
Stewart, you have the best audio of any of us.
Yeah. So it's a
yours by far looks the best though, Johnny. You look professional.
Just a poser.
Well, I like it. It looks good.
But yeah, so it's supposed to help with the crackling, but it looks really weird this way.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is. How, not to change the subject, but to change the subject, how frustrated do you all get when you cannot find something that you've sold?
It's funny you ask.
Because I'm sitting on one right now.
Well, this is not an example of I can't find it. This is, every once in a blue moon, since I cross post, I will sell something that I'd already sold. And, periodically just somehow it doesn't get off one of the other platforms. So I just sold this Oak Ridge coloring book on Macari that I'd actually sold on Facebook a while back. And it had gotten delisted from all the other platforms, so I'm really not sure what happened. I try to check. List Perfectly does a really decent job of the auto delisting, and and I used to be real paranoid and check every time something sold, but it's gotten so good I don't check anymore. That's something that sold a while back, so my guess is that was just a glitch at the time. And I just messaged the person, said, hey, it looks like I'd already sold this, and I don't know how it got relisted, and just canceled the sale. And so no big deal. But
do you face that same thing like that, though?
Yeah. So we have a lot of issues with older stuff, because we used to, like, Lizzie would throw it into a whatnot show and then it would sell and she'd forget to take it off eBay. So like we'll sell something from like a year ago and we're like, crap. And she'll go and check and go, yeah, it sold on whatnot. We had 60 sales over the weekend, and I think we canceled 5 orders because one of the things, and they're all but one were Poshmark, because Poshmark, when you, even with like Vendu with the auto detection, if there's a pending offer out, Poshmark won't let you delist it.
You do know you can get around that, don't you?
Yeah, but we have to manually do it.
Yeah. It's kind of a pain. But yeah, for
So
anybody who
thankfully-
does cross list, just a quick tip. If whether you're automatically doing it with the platform like Vendu or This Perfectly, or manually doing it, to delete it, you've got to change some aspect. Generally, the size is what I change. I assume that's what you change, and then it'll let you delete it. It's kind of stupid, but that you can't delete it with an active offer. So I don't know
But
that
the
we
nice
really
thing-
answered your question, though, Wes. We went in a little bit different direction. But to answer your question, yes, I have had exactly what you said happen, I think twice. one was a hat. And I mean, I still have no idea. I know it's not something I sold, but it was not in the house anywhere. And of course, this was years ago, 3 or 4 years ago anyway. And, the guy, it was an eBay selling. The guy's like, yeah, you're just posting stuff and don't even have, I'm like, yeah, whatever, why would I do that? What does that benefit me? Yeah, I'm just trying to piss people off in the world here. But,
I'll show you for $7.
I mean, the bigger issue I have occasionally, just because I list so much stuff, I have my bin system that I've shown in a previous video. Every once in a while, I'll just I'll put it in one bin and I'll record something else in my spreadsheet. So then I'm looking through every other bin to try to find it. And
well, I'm finding the things that I cannot find is the things I have not seen in a while. That older stuff that you've got listed, and it's just you forget about what you even got, and you're like, And I've went through every single little thing. Mine's actually a hat as well on this scenario, and I've looked everywhere for the past day, and I cannot find it. I mean, I don't know where else to look. So I'm thinking it's like what you were talking about. It's sold. I probably listed it twice or something, and I did it that way. So,
other kind of reseller mistakes. Have y'all ever mixed up orders and shipped the wrong things to wrong people?
Yeah, I did that once.
Yeah, I think I've done it. That. I think I did it once too. And I mean, fortunately, everybody involved was really nice. I just sent a label to each of the two people and had them ship it to each other, and they both did it without, without any, flack. But it just cost me
that kind of stuff is easy to do, though. I mean, it's very easy to do, and you think you're paying attention, but it can get by you, and you don't even really notice it. Yeah,
no, I minimize that. I probably don't package in the most efficient way. I mean, a lot of times, just because my stuff's so different too, I don't get in any kind of assembly line mode. I mean, I typically do one thing at a time. I'll pull it up, do all my financial stuff in my spreadsheet, go package it, come back, print the label, put it in my stack, then do the next one. So the chances of me having that happen are pretty slim. I don't box up 10 things and then print labels and think, oh, which box is that?
That attention to detail, especially in the reselling world, if you don't hit those checks, that's when it can bite you. For me, anyway.
Right. Yeah, and you're right. I mean, the good thing is List Perfectly used to not really tell you when something didn't delist. They have a whole status area now that you can go look at, and it seems to be really accurate. Like if something didn't delist off a platform, it'll list it and have a big red thing next to it, so to go manually do that. And I'm sure Vindu, Johnny's shaking his head, does the same thing. So the other weird thing sometime that I've had happen is, have you ever had something returned and the person like returned to sender because it never got delivered, but you never hear from the person? I mean, I've had that. I had this happen one time with this. Somebody bought a painting from me for $200, and it went all the way out to Washington. This person had bought ones before, actually. I think he had bought 2 others. It was a whole series of ones I'd gotten at a thrift shop one time. So the third one, 3 months after I sold it, it came back. I mean, the box was all beat up, and so I reached out to the guy. I'm like, hey, this came back. Do you want me to reship it to you? Never heard anything. So I mean, I don't know if the guy died or what, but then I had something come back the other day that I after 3 months, and I messaged the person, and that hadn't heard back either. But it'd be nice to have enough money where you can just buy stuff and don't even.
Yeah, those are just shopaholics, right? They don't even know how I feel when an Amazon box comes. What the hell's in here?
Well, I had a pretty good sale this week. I sold a Pearl Jam poster, thick laminated, and it's really nice. It's one of those things I was thinking about putting in my man cave, but I was like, if I don't sell this, Johnny's going to give me even more. So, Johnny, I'll let it go.
I'm proud of you. I thought you were going to say you took it off the wall of your bedroom.
No, it sold for $95. So,
that's awesome, man. Where did you get that?
At a garage sale. And I've had it listed ever since the summer. It's one of those longer tooth things that it finally sold.
Yeah.
So I was pretty stoked about that. But it's a nice poster. It's really nice.
I had one of my best single dollar sales ever the other day in my booth. It was a shelf I sold for $1,300.
Oh, dang!
That's very nice.
It was a consignment out. It was a consignment item, so half of it will go back to the consignors, or 40% of it. But yeah, it was a really cool shelf. Now this thing was huge. I mean, we're talking. It was, really, really big. It had tons and tons of stuff on it. So that's you're never going to get mad at a $1,300 sale, but.
No.
What are we going to do with all this stuff that we had on the shelf? So you go back, and the booth looks like a tornado hit it. I mean, the girl did a good job of getting it somewhere, but there just wasn't anywhere to put it. So,
yeah.
So I took Amy. Anytime I need something to look good, I take Amy, because I'm not good at making stuff look good. And now it's like it was never there. It never happened. So
we're doing a 30% off sale on eBay of everything that's 9 months or older. And some of this stuff just over time, like I've played with free shipping and all these different things. And I had this Disney American Express fanny pack, and it was originally listed for like $9 free shipping. So with the sale or whatever, it was like $5.62 free shipping. So basically free if you pay shipping. So this guy in Washington sends me an offer for $4. and like, as bad as I just want it gone, I'm like, I can't lose money on this, right? So it's listed for $5.62 on the sale price, or $5.66 with the sale price. So I counter back at $5.50. And was like, hey, you're basically just paying shipping. Like, I'm on the East Coast, you're on the West Coast, like, pay shipping. So he wrote back, man, how can I turn down a 16-cent discount? Sold. And so we bought it for $5.50. Shipping, I think, was like $4.95. So there, it's gone.
Yeah.
That was my highlight.
Well, that is a big highlight.
But I'm like, he just thinks I'm a jerk. Like, 16 cents. Whoa, thanks, buddy. But I'm like, it's already 30% off, and it's free shipping.
Well, it is the holiday season, so you're just giving. That's what you are, Johnny. You're just giving.
Yeah. Well, it's tricky. I think like next time I run a sale that big, like a 30-40%, I might turn offers off instead of like also having those on top of it, because like people are just taking the sale price and sending offers based off the sale price. And I'm like, well, like I can't sell it for $5. Like, ugh. But at the same time, I want it gone.
Yeah. I mean, occasionally I'll even take a little loss on something just to, because sometimes my profit's based on, obviously that's pure loss when shipping costs more than you sold it for. But, if it's something I bought 6 years ago and my cost of goods sold is 10, I don't even really count the cost of goods sold anymore. It's that $10 is so long gone that, it still counts the cost of goods sold, obviously, in my official profit, but, But
it's funny though, when you sell those items and it comes up and you're like, that's mine. And you don't even remember, you've had it so long. You're like, where did I get that from? And then you're looking at, well, you know what? I do want it gone.
And I was like, literally like, this thing is in one spot. And if it is not in that one spot, I have no idea where the heck this thing was. And so like, I went and it was there and I was like, thank God. Because I was like,
at least not an impression only wherever it was.
And I'm like, if I had to cancel, could you imagine a $5.50 free shipping offer, like item that you had to cancel and ding your account because you didn't have? Like, I was already going to lose money on this thing, but luckily I had it. So now I'm just waiting for negative feedback for being a jerk and only giving a 16-cent offer.
In general, Johnny, with the volume you are doing, how's your tracking been doing as far as getting updated?
We've actually been pretty good. We had an issue last week with something that was going to Hawaii. And I actually give the person credit because it stopped tracking the first week of November and they didn't message us till last week. And I was like, wow, that's pretty patient. But I guess when you're in Hawaii, you're used to just everything taking forever. So the last updated tracking was November 6th or November 8th. I filed the claim, and 2 days later they had the item.
Yeah. So I may have asked you this before. Do y'all get everything scanned? I mean,
No, we just throw it in a bin.
Okay. Well, y'all, you know what?
Unless it's high dollar. If it's like an expensive, like $100+ item, we'll scan it. But other than that, it just goes in the bin.
Well, I think I mentioned this in my episode, the episode 2 episodes ago, where I was griping about the 30 packages I dropped off. I mean, I did tweak my process a little bit, because I was just taking everything and dumping it in the bin on the loading dock at the post office that's closest to me, but the kind of the flows, it goes from my post office to the one on Wise Scarborough Road. Visit
Knoxville.com.
Which is really not much for, I mean, the delta between driving to Cedar Bluff or to Wise Scarborough is only like 5 minutes. So
that's what I was going to say. That's like 5 minutes, right?
Yeah. And I've just started taking everything straight to Wise Scarborough and dropping it off. So at least it takes a step out of the process. And if there's nobody there, I'll scan maybe some of them, or, if not, I'll just dump them in the bin. It seems to be having good luck. And I've also been using the UPS when we talked about for other things. They seem to actually be getting there quicker than the Postal Service for now anyway.
Yeah, so the post office that we go to is like the next town over, but it's just like a little like dinky rural town, and we throw them in the bins, and literally the guys will start taking them out and scanning them while we're throwing them in the bins. So like we don't do like they're handled immediately.
So y'all have postal workers who care. I mean, they're actually
our guys. We're actually so interesting. Have you guys ever purchased or heard of anyone like buying a gift for their post office people or their mailman or mail ladies? I didn't want them to like get in trouble, because there's rules, like you can't give them cash or cash equivalents, and it can't be more than like $20 per like there's rules to it, and we didn't want to get any of them in trouble, but we're trying to give them a gift on Friday when we drop off our orders, just as thank you, because our guys are like the best in the world.
You look at him, you go, I'm just going to leave this here. I don't want it to be shipped or anything. Wink, wink.
The problem with the Cedar Bluff post office, they're really good there and really nice, but they're actually busier, I feel, than the main post office, just as far as the number of people who are coming in there dropping stuff off. So I know that, I know they're just overwhelmed with packages. And I mean, and the guy told me at Cedar Bluff that really they're not scanning anything. It's just going, I mean, like if I drop it off at the counter at Cedar Bluff, they're just throwing it in the bin to go to the Wise Scarborough location, and it may or may not get scanned there. But I think right now with so many packages, they're just sending it on to the next destination in a lot of cases and not scanning it there either. Go ahead.
One thing that I have noticed is if they are super busy and they don't scan them and they go to wherever, the warehouses or whatever, that is when we see zone charges from eBay for shipping in the wrong zone, because there's all those individual little zip codes that you have to go by versus like wide areas. So, and I know we've talked about this before about zone charges and stuff, and that's the only time we have that, is when they don't scan right away.
I've never got a zone charge even when my first scan, but I would think that would just be if they code the scan as an acceptance scan. I don't know. I know when they scan things, I think they actually have to say this is an acceptance scan. This is a, just a checkpoint scan. This is a delivery scan. I think. I don't know that for sure. Yeah. I know, like I've had things. The first scan will just be an in-transit scan, and I've never gotten a zone charge when that happens. So I don't know. I don't think I have. Maybe I need to look a little more closely.
One thing I do think is interesting, not to go politics, but I have heard it thrown around about privatizing the post office. That would be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with the whole post office thing. I mean, I'm not going to, regardless of what happens, I figure there's still going to be, multiple methods to send packages just like there are now. So I don't really lose any sleep over it.
Yeah, I was just always curious how much the prices are regulated, which does that keep UPS and FedEx down a little bit versus if it was private, or is that just what the going rate for sending packages are? I was just curious.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would just depend on whether there's any kind of collusion between. I mean, in theory, another company, whether it's the post office or some derivative of that, you would think would keep prices competitive. But I mean, I do find the UPS sometimes the cheapest. Usually, the only time UPS is cheapest is if it's going a long way. Like if it's going this side of the Mississippi, then Ground Advantage is always cheaper than the SurePost or whatever it's called. And I mean, the only other thing I've been doing just for the holidays, mainly on Etsy, because on Etsy, that's where I charge shipping. So I feel like I need to at least use the class they paid for. So I don't want to switch from USPS to UPS because they may have a reason they don't want to use UPS. But since they've already paid for Ground Advantage, if that's what they chose, some people choose Priority Mail. If the difference is like less than $2, I'm just going to upgrade them to Priority Mail because I know they're handling those differently than the Ground Advantage. Now, if it's going to California, the difference might be $6, and I mean I can't afford to eat that kind of cost. But I'll give a ho 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 right here and say Merry Christmas, everyone. But
put your Santa hat on now, Santa Claus. Stewart Claus.
I mean, I actually had. I mean, it's Christmas has just snuck up so quick, but I had good intentions. My brother's got a Santa Claus suit, and I was going to borrow it, and we were going to do a Christmas episode proper, but we'll do that next year because we'll still be on a year from now. So I'll give everybody something to look forward to. But for this episode, we'll just have to say everybody have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, by that episode 100 will be wild.
Hey, Johnny, by that time, his beard will be way out to here.
Yeah, it'll be like ZZ Stewart.
ZZ Stewart. And, dude, that's funny the other day. You said I got the Sturts.
Did you see
that whole episode, man? It took me a while. It's funny.
Did you see? I think it was Don commented on the last video, something about you're welcome for the Stewarts or whatever.
Yeah, because you thanked her. You said, "Hey, thanks, Don. I appreciate it." We need to get us a shirt made. It says, "I got the Sturts."
Yeah, the Sturts.
The Sturts.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while. We should probably shout out some of our frequent commenters that I know Dawn's commenting all the time, and she came up with the spelling of the Stewart. And of course, Breeze Flippers is watching all the time. So thanks to him. Make sure you check his channel out because I know
he's busy now. He's pumping out like crazy,
doing videos, and had one that almost went like semi-viral.
Yeah. Yeah, he's doing a good job. I know he labored on starting the podcast. He kept thinking about it and wanting to do it, and I'm glad to see that he's actually got it started now. So we wish him well with that.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, I know there's lots of people who've commented, and we appreciate everybody who takes the time to leave a comment for us. I know that they say that helps the algorithm, whatever that algorithm might be.
Whatever that is.
Yeah. Spell algorithm. Go ahead, Johnny.
No,
say Johnny. Uh-oh.
We need a verb. We need a passive verb.
We need a passive verb, Johnny.
Yeah, I was like, this is annoying. I almost I think that's why I was having technical difficulties. I think my computer was like, I'm going to help you out and just shut you down.
You're just pulling on the cord just ever so slow. Well, gentlemen, this has been a fun one. It's been a shorter one. It is Christmas Eve now, so we want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas tomorrow, and we hope that you get everything that you wish for, and we hope you are surrounded by family and friends.
Yeah, it's awesome, guys. Happy holidays.
I know it's hard to believe it's here, and that I think you mentioned at the beginning, we've got a whole year's worth of episodes now out there. So
yeah, we're like legit.
We are legit. And think about it. When we go to 2025, look at our established moniker there. It says 2023. So see, we moved all the way through 2024. Check us out.
I mean, if we continue at the pace we're going, we'll hit 100 episodes sometime, probably third quarter. The 50? I mean, I know we miss a week every now and again due to whatever's going on, but we should. We'll do 52 more episodes next year, and we're at 46 right now. So
98.
Well, no, I guess it'll be early 26. Hey, y'all aren't good at English. I'm not good at math.
Yeah, sure. Third quarter, Stewart. Yeah, or 20.
Get him with some more math, Johnny. Get him back.
Right,
we're looking for the square root of
first quarter of 2026. We will hit 100.
I mean, if we need to start pumping out 2 a week. Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you guys, and we will talk soon. Wish you all the best.
I guess.